Still warm. It's going to be 41 tomorrow. So just do the envelopes for the grandkids.
Friday when I'm going to try and find something for him to unwrap.
For William.
Yeah, because
He's got a million.
yeah, I know. I'll see.
He prefers cash.
I don't know.
It's too hard to buy for grandkids these days. They're getting older and they decide what they want to get. And getting something, they go, oh good, that's
Yeah,
great,
I know,
thanks.
but also they get a certain age and do like to have things to unwrap. So I don't know. When I go with the girls, I'll see. Even if I find for the kids something novelty to unwrap.
Okay. With an envelope attached to it.
Yeah.
They eat some sort of cake, can they?
Huh?
What cake can they eat? I remember they had something.
Not real. Oh, it has to be dairy and soy free.
Oh, it tastes like shit. What time is it over east? Oh god, it's 11 PM over there.
8 o'clock, yeah.
Kids can just use that shower in there as well.
No, I can use the other shower.
Oh, I'd rather they didn't.
Why?
Hello, Dixie.
No, we can use the other one. Kids are kids. Too many kids, they'll walk out on the carpet with wet feet.
Yeah, I suppose. They'll live in the front lounge anyway.
Well, yeah, that's what they'll be watching TV playing Lazy Game. Exactly. Yeah. That's what the front room's for.
Got a tub of that. What's that margarine she uses?
It's that nut
Net something.
nut stuff.
And they can have your brown bread, yeah?
Yes.
And they can eat baked beans and bacon. Not eggs. No?
Hmm?
Eggs?
Yeah,
What, they can have it?
eggs.
That's
Louis
dairy.
can.
Well, you can do anything, can't you?
Oh, he can.
So, Dixie, what are you planning for Christmas? We've got a big mob coming in all different days. I don't know if Mel and Joe will come up.
No, they're not, remember? She's working.
Oh, yeah, that's Christmas Eve she's working, isn't it?
That's right, and Christmas Day.
Oh, okay, that's all right. You keep sneezing. Bless you. We had that for the last couple of weeks. Sort of a cold, wasn't it? And you were doing triple sneezes. My wife was going, achoo, achoo, achoo. Haven't seen that before. I've seen 3 sneezes in a row, like a bit of a pause. But yours was machine gun. I don't know what temperature you're having tomorrow, Dixie, but here it's 41 degrees Celsius. I think that's about 108. No plans for Christmas. Well, if you're in the US, probably a good idea, I suppose, but we don't have any restrictions in Australia. Got to set that little pool up while the kids are here.
Huh?
Got to set the little pool up.
Yeah.
You will ask Lex. Alexa, what is the temperature here tomorrow? Cold. Wear a jumper. Oh. Oh, Alexa's not plugged in. Alexa's got the night off. Google. Ask Alexa if she's got the night off. Yes, she has. Hasbury build's just finished, really. We're putting on a garage shortly and sticking cast iron infills in the front fence. Other than that, we're just about done, to be honest. Mind you, there's always things to do. We won't be doing much tomorrow at 108. We'll book a day off, I think. Still warm tonight. It is 28 degrees Celsius. I think that's about 85 or something like that. It's nice though. I think JP will be asleep. Tony will be asleep. So there's nothing happening tomorrow with that heat coming in.
Not.
Definitely not a good idea to walk in it. I don't know, Dixie. We haven't done a hangout for a while. People probably give up on us. But a lot of our friends in Australia over east, they're on daylight saving, so it used to only be a couple of hours difference, now it's 3 hours. And that's a working week for most of them. It's all good. I don't need a crowd. Just say good day to whoever pops in. I was reading the figures on the news about the US today. Terrible figures. Absolutely unbelievable. 7 in the morning. You definitely are on the east coast of America then. Or Eastern Standard Time at least. It is 8 p.m, 10 past 8 at night here. So having a big family, we've got some of the kids coming with some grandkids on one day, some on another day, some on another day after that. We'll get to see all of them, but that's just how Christmas is. Some live a fair way away. Make sure we get some fruit in, because I know they eat a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
Hello, VMAC. Long time no see, mainly because we haven't been on. You want to come here tomorrow, VMAC? It's 41 degrees Celsius tomorrow here. Should be nice. It's 37, I think, today. It's probably not 37 where you are. Zero. You only got one grandson. Well, still, one's good. So between you today, VMAC, where it's 0, and here tomorrow, where it's 41, which is 105 or 108, there's over 100 degrees difference in our temperatures. Yeah, I'm pretty sure yours is coming. I've watched. Good day, Leroy. Yeah, it was 37 today here, but tomorrow's 41, Leroy. Bring your bathers. There's a fair bit of snow going down to North America, but it seems to be just biding its time. It'll come. You guys get it in one big hit. It's the winter time. I hate it. Well, winter time's terrible here. It gets down to about 14 degrees Celsius, There's wind. Mind you, I wear a jumper when it's 25 degrees Celsius because I'm still cold. And so do you, don't you, Manny? Hello?
Huh?
I said you wear a jumper when it's 25 degrees too because it's too cold.
Yep. Sorry, I'm watching something else.
It wouldn't kill you. We got air conditioner. What we do tonight is we're going to keep all the house closed. It's t-shirt weather, get away with it. But it's definitely a milder winter than what you guys get. Leroy says hello to you.
Hello.
So you having a big mob coming over for Christmas? B-Mac? Leroy? You already have a cold, okay. Plenty of garlic, plenty of lemon. Get a cold, a good one to do is make a very strong tea with honey and lemon in it and let it go cold.
Yeah.
And just during the day, sip on it.
Drink it when it's warm.
Yeah, just to ease the throat. Immediate family only. Yeah, it's a good idea. 6 guests. Oh, you're still under limitations. There's no limitations here at all. Common sense, though, we will have. We will have probably 9 of the grandkids here, all on different days. Our kids live a fair way away. One's 500 k's away and one's about 400. But they're coming on different days, so there'll be like a little Christmas every day for about a week here. I suppose some of the things that we've watched unfold in our country that have worked, that is shutting everything down. Essential workers went to work. Everyone else stayed home. The government paid them to stay home for about a month, and that paid dividends. That's a good idea. I mean, it's probably too cold to have anything outside. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of friends in North America. One has like a patio, as in a lean-to that you could eat outside. Then you could have a lot more people together, I guess. Too cold. Yeah, Dixie. I mean, VMAC was here, and I don't know whether Leroy. The very first month in February, I said, if the whole world just shut down together for 1 month, we would get on top of it. There's no stopping this virus. There is avoiding it, which we've done very well in Australia. And of course, vaccines will be available very shortly. But we took it serious in Australia, really serious. Yeah, we have barbecues in winter because the sun's beautiful during winter. You just wear a jumper. See, the problem I see in North America in general, and Canada included, is that each state and province have used different rules and regulations. That might seem okay based on the fact of how much virus is around, but if unilaterally we all did the same thing at the same time, it would work. Just lean out the back door with the tongs, eh, Leroy? Well, the vaccine, in a sense, is a cure, not in the true sense, of course. It's like the common cold. This is the biggest irony. The common cold is incurable. It doesn't have proteins attached to it that you can attack, and the common cold changes within days. And I did know a doctor many years ago who said it's actually might sound counterproductive, but as you grow up, having colds all the way through your life actually helps you. See, what they do here, we don't have any cases in Australia. We got Australians stuck overseas. There's probably still 20,000 of them. And they're put into quarantine as soon as their aircraft land. There are special buses that take them to a specific area. If you're a couple, you can stay together in a unit. Or if you're a family, you can stay together. Or if you're just single, you stay by yourself for 2 weeks. There is no if, there is no but. That's what happens. And the outbreak that occurred in Victoria came about security guards at a facility like that being slack, mingling with the guests. And Victoria had up to 700 cases per day. And now Victoria is 36 days with no cases because they shut the state down. But it's got to be done. In Australia, it virtually happened universally. All the chief health medical officers of each state and territory got together and said, let's do this together. And they did. Not individually, not like half-open shops or do this so that hairdressers go back. No, it was nationwide how it was applied. And it worked. Was it frustrating? Yep. But we only had to do it once. Someone wrote an article today online. It was a news I can't remember what news outlet it was. But this week alone in America, more people have died in the 7 days that have just passed. If you combine 9/11 and Pearl Harbor, they were less. That starts to make your mind think, geez. So, a lot less. I mean, it's about half actually. But it seems like, and I'm not knocking Americans, but they seem to be a bit blasé. Won't happen to me. I hear people say it's still a hoax. You hear all this nonsense. Hello, Jojo. Yeah, I would tend to agree to a certain extent, VMAC, but when there's a health crisis, there should be a national plan. And whatever your provisional or personal liberty rights are, need to be thrown out the window to protect everybody. It's not forever. It's for a set period of time. I don't believe that you lose your liberty because you wear a mask or you're asked to stay home for a period of time. That's just common sense. If you went to the doctor and he said, your immune system is just very weak because you have XBD disease, you need to stay away from people and isolate yourself for at least a month. Everyone would. And yet the same health officers are saying, stay away from everyone because this is dangerous, and they don't. 48-hour lockdown means nothing. It's ridiculous, Jojo. It has to be a minimum of 10 to 14 days. Like I say, I don't think anyone's liberties are impeded if people are trying to protect you. Yeah, but every country, Australia and every Commonwealth country, VMAC, has emergency powers. Each and every one of them. So Jojo says, one thing pisses me off about Karate is that the happy ending parlour is closed. Must really piss you off those Greek men's bathhouses are closed, Jojo. Just kidding.
But it's snowing for VMAC, is it?
No, she was just saying before there's no snow yet. Well, they need to change VMAC. The problem with a lingering disease of any type, if uniformity is not followed, it just pops up again. Like, it would be silly to close Quebec for a month. Everyone stay home in Quebec for a month. Don't go to work. Quebec, closed down for 1 month. And every other province is open. That makes no sense at all.
Constant beeping.
Sounds like a truck backing up somewhere.
It's been backing up for the
It's
last...
probably a Cadbury chocolate truck backing up our driveway.
Oh, good, I'll go check. There's probably VMAC driving it.
No, she wouldn't be driving it, she'd be eating it. She'd be in the back, saying, it's mine, the precious.
I bought chocolates to hang on the tree. Tree chocolates.
Well, yeah, people are happy with the situation, but the virus is out of control. So be it. That's what they want to do. We have emergency powers that each state can authorise. Giuliani has been admitted to hospital with COVID. Are you sure it's not just the dye running down his forehead? Maybe it's dye poisoning. We can see what's going to happen next, VMAC and Jojo. Giuliani will sue the virus. He'll sue the virus directly. Hello, Danny G. You're on your way to work. Be careful, Danny. I mean, in my lifetime, there have been eradications of quite a few diseases. Some are not gone. Whooping cough is not gone, but it's eradicated to a very low level. Smallpox, within my lifetime, is gone. Yeah, and crazy scientists from Russia and America have still got the little bugger in deep freeze, of course. Yeah, you think about what we call contact tracing. Can you imagine how many people Giuliani came in contact with? It's a facade, what's going on at the moment. A dangerous facade, for sure. If I lived in the USA, and if I was able to stay home with my family, that's what I would do. Because the only people that can control it is those that can actually afford not to work. Yeah, I can imagine, Danny. I had to do the same in the prison when I was a prison officer. You'd forever be using sanitizer. And it gets a bit laborious after a while. Yeah, unfortunately, people are very quick to forget. People like Danny, not just Danny, orderlies, people that clean, obviously the nurses and the doctors and the specialists, they're at war. And I often hear remarks about people attacking nurses and doctors. Because they have no one else to blame, they'll start attacking doctors and nurses. But it's crazy. History will show how brave and honourable these people were. It's not happening now, And like I say, time will pass and history will show anyone that worked in the medical industry, from the guy that delivered the dirty laundry to the guy that cleans the toilet to the nurses, the doctors, you name it. They should be honoured in the future for sure. Maybe a medal could be struck because they're just as much, in fact more, I did read an article, they're more at risk of dying than soldiers that went to Vietnam on a percentage basis. And you need to put that in context. It's a job that, let's be honest, they're doing the job and then this virus come along. A few nurses have given up work, I know of, because of a very large family and grandma living with them, and rightly so. There's nothing wrong with that happening. But there are many doctors that have come out of retirement, nurses that have put themselves, and many have died. You know, the list of medical professionals in the industry, in North America in particular, it's staggering. The numbers don't lie. It's a very dangerous position to be in. And many of them, I don't know what the percentage is now, but many of them contracted the virus, and when they got better, they went back to work. It really needs to be recognised in the future. The time will pass. You know, hopefully in a couple of years, it'll be mentioned briefly about a spike here and a spike there. But in that time frame, within 2 years, all these people that have been on the front line, funeral parlours, guys that, like I say, take away the dead bodies. These are real heroes. It's not lost on me, it's lost on many people, but they are doing a job that most people would not do. So I hope they are recognised in the future for their bravery. I'm not going to put it any other way. You need to be brave to do these jobs they're doing. Like I say, from the cleaners, the guys that do the laundry, everyone involved. The world is a very selfish place. People care for only themselves or their nearest kin, and they don't care what happens to the rest of the people. That's our problem. We need to care. You need to make an effort to understand that it's been used many times, but we're all in this at the same time, and we have to deal with it. I looked down, retired 77-year-old doctor, went back to work free of charge. Yeah, it happened here. It's happened on a big scale in the US. Even ex-military, they've offered their services, like people that were good at coordination, they've offered their services for field hospitals being set up in the US by the Army, and the Army said, yep, we'll take your help. The biggest thing that's come out of this for me is, and I'll be honest, the stupidity of many people and the lack of clarity of leaders around the world in guiding people through this pandemic has been abysmal in many cases. And people listen to their leaders, whether it's good or bad information, they'll listen. And I'm pretty sure people will be charged with culpable negligence in the future for what's happened. I just hope you got the common cold, Dixie. It's a sad time, like I say, when you read figures that are coming out of the US alone. Forget the rest of the world for a moment. This week past, more people have died from COVID than the combination of Pearl Harbor and 9/11 combined. And they are staggering numbers.
Can I go watch 24 Hours in Emergency?
Yep, that's a good comment, Danny. I've got several of my colleagues who have given it to relatives, but do they quit? No, they continue to fight the virus regardless of how or we treat it. Yeah, I understand. The animosity towards medical professionals has been shocking in America. Yeah, no, I've got no problem with that, VMAC. It's when we're able to help others, we do. But your family comes first. but I've read so many articles. There was a lady in Kansas City, and I think she is of Asian Indian descent. She's a doctor, and she was pleading with the mayor of the city for people to wear masks. She got death threats, all these nonsense, people driving past her house at night. I guess people have no one else to attack other than those medical professionals. You can't attack the virus, I understand that. It's the denial of this bloody thing which is annoying. Bye, Danny, have a great day. Be safe. Well, you virtually don't have to leave home at all. You get all your food, everything delivered. But there will come a time that these people will be recognised for what they've done. There's a difference between a war and this pandemic is doctors, nurses and all medical professionals didn't sign up to fight a war. They signed up to help people. Well, I've never seen so much discourse and animosity between Americans in the last 3 or 4 years. It's been terrible to watch. I was reading an article about in Russia, 12 people died drinking sanitizer. They had a big party, they run out of alcohol, and sanitizer, as most people know, is about 70 to 80% alcohol with other chemicals in it. And 12 people died.
I had a friend that used to drink milk. She was an elderly lady. She used to drink perfume when she couldn't get alcohol.
Methylated spirits.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She's dead now, but yeah, I remember that. She never had bad breath.
No, why'd you know when to go near her? With a flame. She says, I feel lucky seeing another American. Well, like I say, if I had my way and I was the leader of the US, I'd pay you all to stay home for a month and do nothing. Yeah, petrol sniffing, glue sniffing, I've seen it all. Anything that can get people intoxicated.
Spray can.
Yeah, paint. It's interesting, I did read that Congress was going to try and introduce a bill to decriminalise marijuana. That'll be interesting. Nah, I don't think that would stop him getting fat, Jojo. You just eat tons of candy. I don't even know how he's going. You should fly out here tomorrow, Jojo, in your special private jet, because you can't land otherwise. You come and have lunch with us tomorrow. It's only going to be 41 degrees Celsius. You'll love it. Bring your bathers. It's weird. The 1st of December here, maximum temperature was 14 degrees Celsius. 6 days later, it's going to be 41 degrees. I cut some portions of my tomato plants off for cuttings and started them in some big jars. I don't know if you can see it from here. Oh yeah. Living in there for 3 days now, waiting for the roots to set, and that will be my second summer crop. Well, it's because different states in America have the right to make laws. I did notice in the general election on November 3rd, 5 states legalised marijuana. That's probably what the impetus to put a federal bill through to make it decriminalised, which it should be. All right, Jojo, be safe. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I don't know if you could grow them inside with a south-facing window for you, but you could do it. It's just a case of they actually do grow quite well. It's an incredible plant, the tomato plant. You can just about hack it to death and it grows back. Starting to get quite a lot of tomatoes now. Yeah, salsa's good. I've been making, because I had heaps of stuff come out of the garden. Cukes, onions, tomatoes and beans. So I made up piccalilli, as you saw, you call it mustard pickles. I've made up a relish. So I don't waste what I grow. If I can't eat it now, I'll turn it into something else. Basil grows well inside, really does. Years ago I put in about a 4-foot long self-watering plastic container. It grew about 5 foot tall, didn't it? That one in Andrew, remember that? But you could, and I know I showed someone how to do it over in Pennsylvania. South-facing window, and during winter, temperature will vary, but you can grow small cherry or teardrop tomatoes quite successfully inside because they've got a higher tolerance of cold. It's the last crop that I grow here during the end of summer going into winter. I actually had a cherry tomato still growing in the middle of winter. I don't use a lot of basil in cooking. I'll make it with a salsa, red onion, vinaigrette, tomato, and a bit of basil, but I don't use a lot of it. It can be quite overpowering. But do you grow microgreens during winter, VMAG? Mung beans, cress? That would certainly grow inside your house. With your grape tomatoes, if they're still going okay, but they're going to be inside, I'd prune them back, like, I don't know how tall they are that you've got, but prune them back to be only about 2 foot high. They'll keep growing. But they do like a good prune if you're going to go into the cooler. Yeah, it's, when you've got cherry tomato, get to about 6 to 8 foot tall, it's coming to the end of the season. You can certainly, if it's in a pot, it's a lot easier, but if it's in the ground, you can still dig it up, cut a bit of the root ball off, cut it down to about 2 foot high, put it in a pot and take it inside, and you'll still grow cherry tomatoes. It's nice to get, a handful of cherry tomatoes in the middle of winter. Mind you, my winter's not quite like yours. I should be able to. I'll do the same even with the chili plants that are growing. Some are about 3 and 4 foot high now. During the end of the season, I'll cut it down half size, trim it a fair bit, and hope that it winterises itself outside. So you end up with a thicker, stronger bush come the following spring and summer. A metre, yeah. They're good to keep smaller too, because I imagine where you are on the coast, you get a bit of wind, and tomato bushes don't like wind. I had 2 or 3 days of really heavy wind, and I lost a few branches off some of the tomatoes, but it doesn't stop the plant growing. A couple of the branches sort of fell out of the pot and fell on the ground, and they're still growing. I pulled off a dozen red tomatoes, basically grown on the pavers. I've probably got about 3 kilo tomatoes today, but I'll get the same. I'll get, like I say, from now on, the flushes are coming, so I'll get a fair bit. My chilies are starting to come on, so I'll be making a chili sauce with a tomato base. Oh, those are ones inside, yeah. Oh, they're pretty well protected then. Yeah, we've got the people do the same thing here, Leroy. There's lots of microgreens that are used basically for garnish. But I generally, every now and then, every month, I'll grow a tub of cress, because I like it. I actually like egg, boiled egg and cress mayonnaise sandwiches. Peppery taste from the cress is yum. And you don't really need direct sunlight with microgreens. The thing is, outside where you live, even if you had a greenhouse, it wouldn't work unless you had some sort of form of heat. But I often think a lot of effort growing stuff in a really cold climate is an extremely a lot of work. Maybe if you preserved a lot of the food that you grew during spring and summer, you could just eat it in a different form during winter. For me, the most versatile fruits out of the garden are definitely tomatoes. But I like all the little bits and pieces. I've got not a big range of herbs, but I've got all types of chives. So I've got enough herbs to keep me going all year. Yeah, I've heard that, but it's one of those things in a greenhouse, outside in a very harsh climate, you just need one thing to go wrong and everything will just die. You can't have plants at minus 20 degrees, even for a couple of hours. It'll kill them. It literally breaks down the cell tissue in the plant. But a mate of mine in the UK used to, every year, go around with about 4 or 5 bales of hay, and he would just cover the plants he wanted to protect. He never dug them up or took them inside. Didn't use a greenhouse. So he'd have about a foot covering the plants. Then the snow would come. And it literally works out. The snow on top of the straw or hay insulates the plants, protects them, doesn't let the ground around the plant freeze. Yeah, you'd have to, I imagine.
I'm watching my 24 hours in emergency.
All right, I'll wrap this up shortly. But it's such a good feeling. When you grow anything, the reward is you know how it was grown, first of all. And I've got tomatoes in there that I picked today. They are so delicious. It's so different than commercially grown tomatoes. Until you grow your own tomatoes, you don't know that. But the first tomato I sat down, I didn't do a video, I went down the back, Got a tomato that weighed about, I don't know, 7 or 8 ounces, big, beefy tomato. Took a sharp knife and some salt and pepper. And I spent 15 minutes cutting slices off and eating it. And it was very rewarding. We've got a lot of blueberries coming on now. Mind you, with the grandkids, I say that today, there'll be nothing left on there tomorrow. Strawberries are going well. I pulled out all my English spinach, which I'd let go to seed, and I've bundled it up. It was about 90% dry. I just got it up against the side of the fence so it's not in direct sunlight. Probably in the next couple of days I'll get all the seeds, and I'll have more seeds than I'll ever need of English spinach. All right, VMAC, have a good one. Unpaid labour, you mean domestic goddess duties, I understand. We'll wrap it up there, guys. Good to catch up with who came in tonight. I hope you're all safe, and we'll see you next time. If I can remember how to shut it off. Or we'll be here for hours, because I'm old. Oh, look, there's an X. I can see an X now. All right, guys, have a good one.